What happens when a cast like this comes on stage? It's all right. Let it be. एक काफी है, इसको बीच में रख दो और बहुत ब्रांडिंग हो चुकी है ये बात. So welcome and so we primarily have these students. Okay, calm down everybody, relax now. Okay, test and stop giving instructions loudly on the microphone. Camera zoom karo, ye karo, because that's not important. Okay, relax. Thank you for coming. These are the students who hopefully will be the flag bearer of Actor Prepares for the next so many generations. And apart from the teaching, great teaching that's done by the amazing teachers that we have, we also have these sessions where we talk to people who have done extraordinary work. We are choosy about it. And I personally feel that Trial by Fire is one of the finest shows that I have seen. And that's why you are here, Prashant. How did the idea come to your mind of wanting to make this series, and when did it germinate?
So thank you, sir, for having us, and thank you all for coming and for being here and having us here. Sorry, I've lost my voice a little bit, so just tell me if you can't hear me. So I got the book, actually. One of the producers gave me the book about in 2019. And I thought it was a very powerful story, very emotional. I didn't know if it was possible to make it into a show because it doesn't really have a conclusion. They're still fighting. The victory is that they are still fighting. They've refused to accept defeat. it spanned 25 years. There were no mysteries, no twists, no turns, no. The main opponent was basically the system and inaction and stagnancy. So how do you make a series about something like that, which itself presents itself as very no drama, in the traditional sense of it. But I think that became an interesting challenge, and I think in some ways that's true to what a hero really is in terms of fighting regardless of the outcome and finding that courage within you. And I thought the Krishnamurtis were examples of that, and that if we could find in ourselves a fraction of that courage to stand up and fight for what we believe in, then maybe that things would be quite different. And then also, there was something, it wasn't this huge event that took place in the distant past. It's a cinema. It's a place we all go to. So I think those two things made me feel that it was relevant and important and potentially even inspiring. So that's sort of how I came to it.
Prashant also made an amazing film which was very loved in Sundance Film Festival called America with Reeka.
Umrika.
Yeah,
Yes.
America, which was a fabulous film. How did you decide to for this amazing two people who have taken the series forward? How did you decide that?
So, I've known both of their work, for a long time. Abhay, obviously, I've known his very, much loved work, and Rajshri, has done a couple of fantastic films. There's a film called S. Durga, which Sexy Durga, which her performance was absolutely stunning. So I've known, I wanted, obviously wanted to work with them. Abhay and I just started discussing. He read the script. We weren't sure if he would like it, and then through the discussions, he was responding to it, and then he sort of took that leap of faith on the project, which and we were of course thrilled because he's an actor who I've admired for a long time and wanted to see, back on screen in a big way. And Rajshri, so Rajshri and I have known each other very briefly. We met once, and always wanted to work with her. But the role was so kind of difficult that I asked her if she would kindly kind of just come in and explore with me a little bit, and we
You were basically testing.
I was, yeah. I don't like to use that word because I think the process is
exploring is a better
exploring is a better word. So she
That's
came
the
in.
word Joshua used for me when he was testing me for the thing. Yeah, I'm glad that's a good word.
Exploring.
So exploring the talent is a great word.
Yeah.
आपको कोई अब screen test के लिए बोलता है तो उसमें एक feeling of failure and success की feeling आती है.
And that's I mean, not
That's
to,
something great thing to learn.
Yeah, I mean, not to digress or anything, but that is a problem in the way that actors are given chances. But anyway, so Rajshri came in, and we did that one scene where she she finds out that her friend's son is alive, and she did it. And the first time she did it, we were all she brought so much emotion to it that we were all moved and very moved, all of us, the casting director, my associate director, and then we just kind of said, okay, great, and we knew immediately that that it was her. So I think she said that we texted her basically on 13th January 2020, exactly 2 years.
20.
21. So exactly to the day, 2 years before the release.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very good. अभी आपने बहुत काम किया है. मतलब you've been selective about choosing the kind of films that you've done. मैं आपको अपना रिएक्शन बताता हूँ जब मैंने ये सीरीज देखना शुरू किया था, because I also happen to be it, but I did it based on a conversation with you. Maybe you do not know. To me, kindness of a director is very important. I think directors need to be very kind. मेरा बेस्ट काम तब होता है जब डायरेक्टर काइंड हो. मेरे को कोई क्रिटिसाइज करने वाला डायरेक्टर मिले, वो ठीक है, इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट टू क्रिटिसाइज, बट somehow I feel that when a person is inspiring you and encouraging you, I give my best. When a person says, यार अब करो ना ऐसा यार, क्या है, I don't, and I will not be able to give my best. You were very kind to me on the phone, and you are a kind person, so there was no way that I was not going to do that. How did you decide? So I was telling you how it happened to me when I started watching the series and मैंने तब तक तारीफ सुननी शुरू कर दी थी. फिर मैंने देखा, फिर मैं ज़्यादा 15 मिनट देखता हूँ कोई भी सीरीज, फिर उसके बाद नेक्स्ट डे आई डोंट हैव इट. मैंने देखा देयर वाज अ लर्किंग, I will not call it only sadness, but there was a lurking sadness when I was watching it, and yet it was not depressing me. So I wanted to watch the next episode and then the next episode, and these two performances kept me glued to it. And how did you approach, apart from the instructions by the director, or what is the better word for instructions?
Explore.
Yeah.
No, that was
Conversations.
Conversation. ये जो बाहर पढ़े लिखे लोग होते हैं ना, ये बड़ी सोच समझ के बातें करते हैं. Apart from the script was good and everything, but because I worked with him, how did you, on your own, work on the role? What was your process?
On my own. So obviously, Prashant had briefed us about the dynamics of the relationship. I had discussions of my character with him as well, how he's seeing it, took a few points. So you collect all that data, that information, and you sit with it. Every project is unique. This particular one is a true story, and it's extremely tragic. So I found myself troubled because you're going to recreate something so tragic. And I find, and I think I'm not alone, I think most people are like this, it's very easy for me to have empathy for another, but really not have so much empathy for myself. I'm fine where I am. What is your problem? Look at him, look at her, look at their situation, blah, 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 blah. So I was very easily able to go into that. And the more I explored their tragedy, the more thankful I was for who I am, where I am, what I have. And that just kind of slipped me into position. At some point, you just have to, I keep saying this over and over again now, it's like, and I use it for many different situations, like just get over yourself. In this case, it was being so grateful for where I am and who I have in my life and what I have in my life. So it's philosophical, it's emotional, it's humanitarian. That came about because this was such a tragic true tale.
Yeah.
You know, and I came with that to the set.
Wonderful. I'll come back to you about a question. But Rajshri, what was your process? Because I'll tell you why I'm asking this question, because somehow it reminded me of my first film. I was 28 years old and I played a 65-year-old man who was dealing with the loss of his only child, Saransh. And I was not even married, no child, but I had to go through what I had to go through. So what was the process that आपने क्या process चुना? देखिए मेरे जहन में चल रहा है जो आपके जहन में चल रहा है कि जरूरी नहीं हमको इंटेलिजेंट आंसर्स देने हैं, हमको बेसिक आंसर्स देने हैं. I mean, I'm not expecting not intelligent answers. No.
I will anyways not give a very intelligent answer or a very articulate answer because I'm messed up anyway. I feel, whenever I approach any character, first of all, I'm very, honored to portray Neelam on screen. Her journey is, though it's a tragic event and everything, but it's very, very, very inspiring for me. First time when I got the script and I was going through all the details, because I'm a very, I like to study. I like to go through a process, just like, what we learn as an actor. Go through the imagination, go through the, inner monologue with everything. So I go through that process. I like to sit with my script and, demark it properly and go through that, okay, because anyways, we were not shooting linear. But you have to be so prepared that if you're shooting 55 and if you're shooting 35, then you know how your dynamics
Scene number
should
55
work.
and scene number 30,
yeah, means like, you're playing age 55 to 60,
Age.
age
We go
55 to
18
60,
years.
and because I don't know how many people have seen the show. So, you know what I'm talking. So, we age in this show. So, we were shooting, one day we were shooting the old also, we were shooting the young also. So, we had to keep that thing in your head that okay, you have to be prepared for the space at that time, and then so I normally prepare myself in such a way where the internal process is there, emotional truth I carry with all my sequences, but I have to like physical, that whole continuity of it, because how she is aging.
So what was the age group from where to where you had to reach?
We were around 35 to 58 to 9.
60.
60, yeah. So 35 to 60, that was a 22 year of period we were shown. So yeah, like, the physical continuity. And I always make a point that, what happens in between. Even the pauses, even there are no lines, or what exactly she's saying in that. Even a look, because camera is on you over here, so you cannot lie to the camera. Like in theatre, you can always make a little more gesture and still you can convey a scene. But when it comes, the camera is on you like here. It's you have to imagine that there are certain things is happening. Like we do imagine. Do you do imagination exercises? Yeah, like creating something, just like, okay, you opened a bottle and you're drinking water and everything. Yeah, any particular thing. So it's exactly when your camera is here like this, you have to kind of start imagining, use your imagination exercise over there where you are actually feeling everything, but not fully.
But not?
Fully. Like you cannot go, like it happens, like, because it pains. The show and the work was very difficult for me. It took a toll on me mentally, physically, emotionally. But then as an actor, it's very important that, okay, you're there, not fully, come back to it, breathe in between. Because you have to prepare yourself for some other battle. So, I don't know if I'm answering your question.
I think also 33 to 60 is a difficult age physically to make. It's not much of a... I'm coming back again to my film because I was according to me, I thought 65-year-old man will be like this.
Yeah.
I'm 67 now. I don't look like that old man at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my imagination was that.
Yeah.
How old were you that time?
28.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's what I kept seeing, like, because I've seen my mother, how she changed, or like, how she had a little
that
hunch
was visible,
and everything, and how she walked. I think that I observed a lot.
Yes.
And I'm basically a very observer person, so I know whom I have to, keep as a memory bank and portray for my other characters. So I'm always a, taker.
You had everybody was, it's happened, say about 26 years back, this tragedy. I remember where I was exactly, I think all of us, it's like that 26/11 or it's like 9/11. Similarly, Upahar was that like that. And were you looking consciously for actors who looked like Krishnamurtis or who behaved like, because you made me speak to Mrs. Krishnamurti FaceTime.
Sure.
And there was a lot of resemblance in her case. I did not get to see Mr. Krishnamurti.
I think that's a slippery slope. You can go very far with prosthetics and mimicking the actor and sort of trying to embody the physical aspects. That's definitely a concern. But I didn't think that we should prioritize it, and we discussed it. That's not what is the essence of those two people. So the other thing is that these guys had to do some really difficult stuff, very primal feelings. I mean, the experience of losing a child, it's not something that's imaginable. It's not something that there's no word for a parent who's lost a child in any language. Because it's unimaginable. So if you're asking an actor to do that, you don't really want them to be thinking, how would the Krishnamurtis react in this situation? Because the audience will feel it. You want them to be free and to embody that moment. So it's a delicate balance. Obviously, and they were both very proactive with working with the makeup team and the costume team to kind of own it a little bit and own their transformation. But I think our job was really to kind of create an environment where they could be in the moment, because this is that type of material where the things